What's up, everybody? My name is Amy, and this is the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. My name is Amy. Welcome to my show. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday afternoon. We had some storms blow through again here in Arkansas, and of course, normally behind storms, we have cold fronts come in, and I have pretty much been laid up in bed all weekend, hurting, not feeling well, and doing a little self-protection as well, which I will get into here in a minute. My pain management forces me to do this nerve burning stuff in order to get medication. Nowadays, in order to get pain medication, because of the opioid problem, especially here in Arkansas, those of us who are in real pain or, have a chronic disease that there is no cure for, such as I do, plus, injuries and pain from an injury, we have to go through what I call being on parole for a crime you didn't commit. I'm forced to have to take a drug test every month. They have to count my medication and all this crap, but they force me to go through this nerve burning stuff. And I've been going through it since, my accident happened in 2013. So I've been going through this since 2014. And I'm on my third pain management doctor, still having to go through this crap. The shit still doesn't work, and it seems like now when they do the test injections, those work. But then when it comes down to doing the actual procedure, it is so painful that this last time they couldn't even finish my procedure. Because I was just screaming and wailing in so much pain. And the doctor complains about my back muscles being so hard. I can't help that. I do everything I possibly can to, here at home, I have heat and ice and a back massager, little thing in my dooger that I can put on my neck and back. I do what I can. I put, muscle rub and things like that, but, it just doesn't, it just doesn't help none. But they force me to do these nerve burning things in order to even get the medication that I get. And this last procedure, just I've been in nothing but pain ever since. So, and you can't argue with these people. It's like you can't talk to these. I've tried numerous times to talk to them and tell them, look, we're going to have to figure out something different. We're going to have to do something different. I don't know what, but we're going to have to do something different. I don't have the option of being put under to get the procedure done so that I don't feel the pain. Unfortunately, all I get is nitrous oxide, and I have to sound like a junkie and tell them, jack that gas up. They know when I come in that room, jack the gas up, full blast. So, but I swear, talking to these people is like talking to Don Wells. You're just not going to connect, and you're not going to get shit out of them but what they want you to do. Just like Don Wells tells us what he wants us to know and what he wants us to believe about him and Candace and the disappearance of their daughter. Eve, how are you? Good to see you. So glad you stopped by. You are such a sweetheart, and I really appreciate you always coming over and being here for me and listening. There is so much going on in the world of true crime. And when you've been doing true crime as long as I have, and when you've been following true crime as long as I have, and you are a light worker, which I know that I am, something I figured out several years ago. I'll get into that. I'm not the same kind of light worker as Chad and Lori Daybell, though, so don't get it twisted. But when you are a light worker and, your passion revolves around true crime, you can't stop it. And we are at an all-time high of so much shit going on in the world. You've got parents killing their kids every day. You've got people out here thinking that this is the Wild Wild West again, and it's shoot first, ask questions later. You've got a 6-year-old child and her parents being shot because their ball rode into the wrong yard. You got teenage cheerleaders getting shot for accidentally getting in the wrong car. You've got a teenager getting shot for showing up at the wrong doorstep to pick up his brother. You've got just crazy people going up to an elementary school and shooting a bunch of innocent 9-year-old children. The world has gone mad. And, here on YouTube, while this platform may give me a platform to talk on and be honest and be truthful and, say shit just the way it is, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It also gives people a platform to spread more hate and more drama and more chaos that causes problems with people in their families and such. And it just never stops. And, sometimes people like me just have to take a break, because as a light worker, you want to help people. You want to spread the truth, and you want to spread awareness, and you want to figure out a way to stop these shootings, or what can we do about this and what can we do about that. And we can talk about it and we can have conversations, and YouTube gives me that platform to talk about these things and have these conversations. but I'm stuck underneath all of these here in, y'all know, here in this community, I'm stuck underneath all of these drama channels and all these bullshit channels and all these people that are entertaining Don Wells and his bullshit. And I just can't do it. I can't do it. When Don Wells is ready to talk real talk, give me a call. Otherwise, I can't entertain the nonsense that's going on here on YouTube in the Summer Wells case, or any other case for that matter. You got all these egos out here that are trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get famous. They're trying to make money. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to talk about these subjects. I'm here to talk about these cases. I'm here to spread awareness, find missing children, whatever I can do, because this just happens to be the subject that I have been passionate about for so many years, is true crime. I didn't choose true crime. True crime chose me back in 1987 when someone murdered my friends. But there is so much crap going on. It's every single day that you turn on the news or you turn on YouTube, and at some point you just have to shut it off and you have to protect yourself. And, you know, some people don't understand the concept of Graceland. They don't understand the concept of Michael Jackson's Neverland. They don't understand the concept of Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion. People create a world that they want to live in, whatever kind of world it may be. People create the world they want to live in as a way of peace and a way of protecting themselves, and a way of living in a world that they want to live in. You know, Elvis bought Graceland. He wanted to be surrounded by his family and his friends. It was his forte, where he could swim and his family could ride go-karts. They could have music and ride horses. And, you know, that was his shelter. That was his forte. That was his shelter. Nobody, I swear I'm the only person on the face of this earth that has ever understood Michael Jackson and has ever understood why he created Neverland. I have never looked at any of it the way that everybody else does, and thinking that he's a pedophile and that he likes children and all that kind of stuff. I have never, ever saw things that way. I've always completely understood why Michael Jackson created Neverland, why he wanted his own zoo, why he wanted his own amusement park, why he wanted his own movie theater, and all that kind of stuff. I've always understood it, and believe you me, I would have lived there with him in a fucking heartbeat. I would still be living there with him. I would give anything to have lived at Neverland, because I get it. I understand it. And it has nothing to do with being attracted to children at all. But a lot of people see it that way, and a lot of people don't understand it. I personally don't like being an adult. You know, I don't like having to pay bills and worry about how I'm going to pay the rent this month, having to get a job and stress over $700 worth of car work that you've got to have done this month, and you only make $900, and you know how you're going to, you know, do that. And I'm not the type of person that will ask anybody for help either. You know, I don't post a Cash App up here or ask, YouTube to donate money or buy me this or buy me that. That's just something I just don't do. So, but who the hell likes being an adult? We thought when we were kids it was going to be all fun and great, and no, it's not. I would much, if I could go back to being 7 years old again, believe me, I would. But here in my Glamper, I've created my own little world. The way I want it to be and what I wanted to be, what I want to be surrounded by. And sometimes I retreat into that because I have to protect myself from the ugly world outside, and from the ugly world of true crime. I have to take a break, and I have to, protect myself. And, here in my Glamper, I can live in whatever decade I want to live in through music, through movies, through TV, television shows. I can live in whatever decade I want to live in. I can live in the 70s and watch The Facts of Life. I can watch Good Times. I can watch Different Strokes. I can, in the 80s, I can watch, what? All my favorite, TV shows from the 80s or movies from the 80s. I can, in the 90s, I can, watch 10 seasons of Beverly Hills 90210. I don't ever get tired of watching that show. I don't ever get tired of watching Law and Order. I've been watching the original Law and Order. I've been watching since the 90s. Law and Order SVU, Law and Order. Now I watch Law and Order Organized Crime. And my Saturdays are usually spent watching Law and Order SVU Marathon on the channel Ion. So that's how I usually spend my afternoons, and I don't ever get tired of watching that show. Also, speaking of Law and Order SVU, Mariska Hargitay, I'm very much a big fan of her mother, Jane Mansfield. So I can go back and I can live in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s through movies, because I love old Hollywood. I love Marilyn Monroe. I love Mae West. I love Jane Mansfield, Barbara Stanwyck. I can watch all those movies. I can live here in my Glamper in whatever decade I decide I want to live in for the day or the week or the weekend or whatever, through music and through movies and television. And it's just a way of self-protection. And sometimes I retreat and I forget where I am. So I tend to forget to come back to the land of the living, which is, I figured I might better check in with y'all today. So that's another reason why I'm here. So let's get into true crime talk. First of all, I want to make a little announcement just to make you all pre-aware. My former governor, Asa Hutchinson, has decided to throw his name in the hat to run for president. Please, for the love of God, do not vote for Asa Hutchinson, former Arkansas governor. He is old money. He is old politics, and you're not going to get nothing but the same old bullshit of all these people that have been in Washington for years and years and years that we all want to try to get rid of. So yeah, I about choked when I saw that he was going to be throwing his name in the hat for president. And he's claiming he's going to run on some type of platform that's it's Republican conservative, but it's sort of a fresher face opposite Donald Trump, whatever the fuck that means. But don't fall for it. It's bullshit. Yeah. Julia, the whatever last name she goes by, I'm just going to refer to her as Julia, the Polish girl who came forward believing that she was missing child Madeline McCann. She came to the United States with this woman, Thea Johannesson. Like I said, she looks more like she belongs on an episode of Basketball Wives rather than all this stuff that she claims to be. But apparently, so they took the DNA test. She is not Madeline McCann. I never believed she was Madeline McCann to begin with. I do believe that little girl has unfortunately left us, and that she left us a long time ago. I feel terrible for that family, the McCann family. You know, I can understand that they did the DNA test. I'm glad they did the DNA test, because in this world, you know, miracles do happen. You know, and was there possibly a chance that she could have been Madeline McCann? Of course, because we don't truly know what happened to Madeline McCann. But I, you know, unfortunately believe that little girl is no longer with us, and she has not been with us for a very long time. But Julia is not Madeline McCann. The DNA test proves it. However, she still believes, she's gone back to Poland, and she still believes that she is Madeline McCann. I think this young lady is seriously mentally disturbed. I do believe that something did happen in her childhood, whether or not this man that she claims abused her, essayed her as a child or whatever. I don't know the full story behind all that. We may not ever get that full story. I can't understand why no one has pushed harder for the full story and the full truth behind whatever did happen to her as a child. But there's been so much attention placed on, you know, entertaining the fact that she could be Madeline McCann that, you know, she's gained all this attention for herself, and, you know, put that family through more hell, you know, thinking that their daughter might possibly, you know, still be alive. But she left a cell phone behind when she went back to Poland. You know, she came here to the United States. She was, I guess, staying with Thea Johannesson, and she left a cell phone behind. And this cell phone apparently contained sexual images of children. Yes, ma'am. She had apparently had sexual images of children on this phone. And it has been turned into the authorities. So whether or not she's going to face any type of child pornography charges or anything like that, it's, you know, up in the air. But, you know, like I said, something happened to this young lady when she was young, and I believe that she is very seriously mentally disturbed, and she needs psychotherapy, something terrible, and to, you know, help this young lady. I did know early on, some people came forward that she had gone by other names That's why I'm just going to now refer to her as Julia, because I don't even know what her real actual last name is. But that she had posted photos on OnlyFans, which, if you're familiar with OnlyFans, is some kind of a site for people to post sexy videos or nude photos or whatever they do over there. I have no idea. I've never even looked into it. I know a lot of people do it. You know, that's just not for me. I think a lot of celebrities are doing it now, but there's also, you know, a lot of people that, because now we live in the age of Instagram models and YouTube influencers and, you know, things like that. So TikTok stars and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you can brand yourself, you can promote yourself, and be anything you want to be in this world. But yeah, she had been posting before she came out trying to claim she was Madeline McCann. She was posting sexy photos on OnlyFans. So yeah, this things about this girl has been, you know, disturbing from the get-go, and she, I believe, needs serious therapy. In the Idaho 4 case, there's a preliminary hearing coming up, and they have subpoenaed one of the surviving roommates, Bethany Funk, to appear for the defense at this preliminary hearing. We don't know yet why. Something having to do with exculpatory evidence. And Bethany is apparently trying to fight it. I was on Twitter earlier, and a lot of people are wondering, you know, why would she want to fight it? Why wouldn't she want to go? Why wouldn't she want to, you know, blah, 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 blah. Especially because she's being subpoenaed by the defendant, the man who stands accused of murdering her friends. I'd be scared too. I'd be trying to fight it too. Like, why do these people want me? Why does the defendant want me to come and testify for him in a preliminary hearing? Because as we know, Bethany Funk was in the downstairs basement bedroom, and she slept through the whole incident. She does not know what happened. She did not, as far as we know, she does not know what happened. She did not see Bryan Kohberger that night. She did not see whoever the assailant is, which Bryan Kohberger is the accused assailant. She did not see him. Does she know him personally? Does she have any connection to Bryan Kohberger? We don't know. You know, was there some kind of evidence found that he had been talking to her online or messaged her on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that? We don't know. We don't know why the defense is wanting Bethany Funk to come and testify in this preliminary hearing. But she's trying to fight it. And, you know, like I said, I'd be scared too. You know, when it'd be one thing if it was the prosecution, but unfortunately it's the defense. It's wanting her to come in and testify on their behalf. So yeah, I'd be afraid of that too. But you know, we'll see what happens and all that. There's been a lot more stuff come out about Bryan Kohberger. You know, he apparently, one of the victim's driver's license was found in the search of his parents' house and apartment and all that kind of stuff. They did find one of the victim's driver's license in his possession, which he's going to have a hard time explaining. So, you know, I don't know. And what is going on with all this. But yeah, I can completely understand Bethany being scared and trying to fight it. Maybe we'll get more information about that here pretty soon. I don't know. Megan Boswell. Megan Boswell is the Tennessee mother who is got about 19 charges against her. She's accused of murdering her daughter, Evelyn Boswell, who was found in a tote on the family's property. Her trial has been postponed to 2025. And anyway, she had a hearing this month, and she was asking for to be able to wear regular street clothes during these hearings and whatnot. Be lucky you're getting to even wear an inmate uniform, Megan Boswell. You know, when her trial comes up, I'm sure she'll be allowed to wear street clothes and whatnot, as everyone, all defendants usually are. But there's no need for her to be able to wear street clothes during preliminary hearings or pretrial motions or any of that kind of crap, because there's no jury there. There's no one there but the prosecution, the defense, and the judge. And there's no jury there to be looking at her, you know, and what she's wearing. Like I said, I'm sure she'll be allowed to wear, you know, street clothes when her trial comes, but there's no need for her to wear street clothes during these preliminary hearings and all that kind of crap. And hell, she's not even going to trial till 2025, so might as well get comfortable in that inmate garb, Megan Boswell. I'd be more worried about what you're charged with. Trigger warning, trigger warning. Putting your child in a tote to suffocate and die. That's what you should be concerned about. And why the fuck you did it. That's just my 2 cents worth on the whole matter. But yeah, I just, you know, let's get this murder trial underway. And they're not seeking the death penalty. I read that they are only going to seek life in prison for her. They're not even going to be seeking the death penalty. So, you know, why are we pushing this shit off till 2025? You know, just prolonging justice for that innocent little baby who deserved better. It's sickening, completely sickening. So now on to, you know, what's been going on with Lori Vallows in the Lori Vallows trial. A lot of testimony, you know, coming out and everything. It's damaging, you know, and in my opinion, you know, just because there might not be forensic evidence or DNA or whatever, you cannot tell me that she didn't know any of this was going on. You know, she lied about her son's whereabouts. She lied about her Tylee's whereabouts. She lied. And why are you lying if you don't know something or whatever? Why are you having to make up lies? I mean, I personally think that, you know, especially in a case like this, putting the defendant on the stand is a sack of worms. But this may be a sack of worms that the defense has to put her on the stand to try and make this jury understand what happened and what she did know or didn't know, or what she thought was going to happen, or whatever. She needs to somehow explain all of this, because if she don't get on the stand and testify, then we're just going to be left with a blank that, okay, well, where did you think your kids were? Well, why did you, okay, you say the children died at your brother's house. Well, why wouldn't you report to the police that your children were killed? I mean, this woman's going to have to get on the stand and explain herself if she wants this jury to understand why all this happened, and how much of it, she knew. I mean, I feel like she's going to also have to put up some type of sort of like a self-defense against, say, Chad and Alex. Like, I didn't know they were going to kill my kids. I thought they were going to send them to a bunker or some kind of a camp for, doomsday or whatever. I didn't know they were going to do all this and blah, 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 blah. I had no knowledge of this. I didn't know Chad was going to kill his wife, or, she's got to somehow explain herself. I mean, that's just my opinion, but then again, if you say nothing, if she says nothing and doesn't get on the stand, then, the jury's going to be left to try and figure out on their own how much she knew, or what she knew, or how involved she was. So they may not put her on the stand as sort of a, well, here's the case, jury, you figure it out. You figure out how much she knew or didn't know or whatever. And I don't know, to me, that seems kind of disastrous, because for someone, like me, I sit here now thinking there's no way she couldn't have known. There's no way she wasn't involved. There's no, but, this jury, I don't know, they've got a hard task ahead of them. They really do. This is one jury I would not want to be on at all. But, there are things it angers me, because I feel like Chad Daybell has taken spiritual knowledge and spiritual truth and used it as a con to do nothing but murder a bunch of people and live off their money. And it's greed, and it's murder, it's lust, it's, that's what it truly is. But he's using spiritual truth, such as being a light worker, and which, as I've said, being a light worker, there is no religious book, Bible, Quran, nothing out there that says that it is okay to murder people. Thou shalt not kill is in every Bible. It's in the Quran. It's in the Book of Mormon. It's in everywhere. In some way, shape, fashion, form, or language, thou shalt not kill. God is the only judge. You are not the judge. And for him to, as a light worker, and to use being a light worker, people who are meant to be on this earth to spread light, and there are people on this earth that are here to spread darkness and to spread evil, which is what he is basically now. He might have started out a light worker, but he's a full-blown dark worker now. He ain't nothing but pure fucking evil. So that's just the way I feel about it. And you know, I do believe that we are in the end times. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe we are seeing revelations. You know, you think Tolly was killed in Yellowstone Park? You know, we've wondered that since the very beginning. Since that is the last time she was seen. But since she turned up buried in Chad's backyard, and you know what was done to her was done to her, I don't know that she was necessarily killed at Yellowstone Park or not. I did think that though in the beginning, when the kids were missing. Gabby says hello, y'all. I did think that in the beginning when the kids were still missing before they had been found, that you know maybe they pushed her off a cliff or something there at Yellowstone. But I don't even want to think of what truly happened to those. And here's Summer. Summer says hello too. Um, I don't, just knowing the state that those children were found in, I don't even want to know the living hell that they went through when they were being murdered. Let's just be real about it. When they were being murdered. So yeah, it is weird, and it angers me because you know, as someone who I, like Chad, have had a near-death experience and went through a spiritual awakening after my near-death experience. I don't claim to be a god. I don't claim to be the one that's going to be here to lead you to the promised land. I'm not out to kill people that I think are dark workers, or the people that I see here spreading evil. My gosh, that is just unfathomable. You know, I can't, because I know what my Bible teaches me, and that is God is the only judge. You know, some people don't even believe in the death penalty. And but me personally, these dark workers and these people that are here to spread evil and to do evil things, I don't think that there is anything you can do with evil but kill it. Just get rid of it. Be rid of it on this earth. And if that means, you know, giving these people the death penalty, then I, you know, I'm certainly all for it. You know, what Chad and Lori did, I believe they deserve the death penalty. What those people did to Cupcake McKinney, I believe they deserve the death penalty. I believe Megan Boswell deserves the death penalty. There's a lot of people that I think deserve the death penalty because what they've done is nothing but pure evil because they had other choices. You know, send those kids to live with somebody else if you don't want them. Divorce. You know, I mean, you can't go around killing people, plain and simple. So, but some people refer to the death penalty as state-funded murder. But if you've committed a crime awful enough to warrant the death penalty, such as Bryan Kohberger, I believe Bryan Kohberger deserves the death penalty. That dude ain't nothing but pure fucking evil. And what can you do with evil but get rid of it? You know, we're supposed to live by the New Testament. We're not supposed to live by the Old Testament that says an eye for an eye. So it's not our place to go and kill somebody that we think is evil. And, you know, that's why we have trials. That's why we have, you know, you have the right to remain silent, even though it, you know, sometimes I don't always like that either. Like we had with Gabby Petito, you know, and the Bryan's, you know, parents' choice to remain silent. You know, that it didn't end too well. That ended with the death of not only Gabby, but ended the death with their son too. So, you know, that's why we have trials by jury, is to, you know, decide these things. But be rest assured that you put me on a jury with a death penalty case, and you better prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt that that person is guilty of that crime. Because I have seen people who have been convicted and given the death penalty that I don't believe are guilty of the crime that they were convicted of. Of course, you all know that I'm a supporter of the West Memphis Three and that I don't believe Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly murdered those kids in West Memphis. Damien was given the death penalty, and I have been a longtime supporter of his. And, you know, I saw what they did to them boys and how they manipulated evidence to make him look guilty. Another person who's been convicted, a child killer who's been convicted, is Darlie Routier. I don't believe that Darlie Routier is guilty. I'm not sold on her being guilty. And her case was a lot of circumstantial evidence. And, you know, they sure let Darren off the hook real quick and ruled him out as a suspect and put their eye on Darlie real quick. And she's going through, you know, still having some DNA testing and stuff done. But I've never been completely sold on Darlie Routier killing her two children. That's another case that I've been fully indulged in since the 90s. So, you know, what do you think, Eve? What do you think? Do you mind if I ask you what your opinion on the death penalty is, and how you feel about it? There's no right or wrong answer. You think you talking about Darren Routier? Yeah. Oh, me too. I believe wholeheartedly he was. You don't just wake up in the middle of the night and decide to murder your two children. I mean, it just, I mean, some people may, but in that particular case, I just don't believe it. In certain cases, yeah, me too. It's got to be something that is just a pure act of evil. And I do believe that what has happened with Chad and Lori and the murder of these four people, I think Alex was murdered too. And while Alex may be guilty of his share of all of this too, I can't understand why they're not trying to look more into Alex's death, because you don't just conveniently croak from a heart attack or whatever um, at such a coincidentally at such a convenient time, unless it's some really shitty karma. Now, I'm not saying karma didn't do its job, but I just find it awfully convenient, you know, and I don't know. I just don't. I don't think Alex Cox died by uh, natural causes. At such a, yeah, he was cremated, so how convenient, But oh well. At least they didn't leave him holding the bag. Now Chad and Lori's left holding the bag. But I think that Chad conned him into believing a lot of bullshit, and unfortunately he was dumb enough to believe it all. Um, just the whole situation is sad. It all it all kind of reminds me of Charlie Manson, and while Charlie has always denied it too, that he conned or talked into or told his family to go and kill Sharon Tate and Abigail Folger and the LaBianca family. Yes, he did. He sent them to those two particular addresses for a reason. It just Charlie had no idea that uh, Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate were renting the Cielo Drive home, and that the former person who lived there was no longer living there. So, and then the LaBianca house was conveniently right next door to someone else that Charlie had knowledge of. So you were having your first baby when when the Manson murders happened? Oh wow. I was just a baby myself, so that's why that's something that I've always wondered is these cult leaders, is it all just a con of bullshit, or do they believe the crap that they're spewing? I would really love to know. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yes, I'm a 70 baby myself, born in 1970. But yeah, this world is a mess. It is a full blown mess right now. And, you know, like I said, sometimes you just have to create a world around you, like I was saying, just like Michael Jackson did, just like Elvis did, just like Hugh Hefner did, whatever kind of little world you want to live in. And like I said, it's a safe haven. I mean, you know, you all decorate your houses with whatever kind. Oh, you're 71. Okay, I'm 53. I just turned 53. Um, everyone decorates their house, however, with whatever style they want or whatever color they want or kind of decor or whatever. Because that's what they like, and it's just it's our safe haven. It's our creative little world, and not only is it a world of fun, but it's also a world of safety and protection. So, and summertime is coming up, and I will be spending more time on the lake, floating on my raft, and because that's how I spend my summers here on the lake, is floating on my raft and taking my chances with skin cancer. My cousin asked me one time, she said, Amy, don't you ever worry about skin cancer? And I was like, you know what, Susan, we all got to die from something. I might as well leave a good looking corpse behind. She said, oh my God, only you would say something like that. Because she's actually light skinned, and she burns really bad in the summertime. When we were kids, man, she got like third-degree burns one time from coming over here to the lake skiing. And oh man, she had blisters. It was awful. Yeah, she asked me that one time. Don't you ever worry about skin cancer? And I'm like, you know what? We all got to die something. Might as well leave a good looking corpse behind. Nice tanned corpse. But, that's what I love to do. That's another way for me to escape. I tell you what, there is nothing like laying out here in the middle of this lake on a raft, looking up at the sky, and especially when the water is really calm and still, um, and you're not floating off into the oblivion. Sometimes I have to tie myself off on a buoy so that I don't float away if the water's too choppy. I will have this little trick. I take a ponytail holder and put it on my wrist, and I have a string tied to it, and I just tie it onto one of the buoys, and that way I don't float off. And that it is nothing but peaceful to just lay out there on the calm water and look up at the sky, look up at the heavens, and just wonder. You know, um, I spend a lot of time in-depth thinking, and you know, a few years ago when my dad died, and I had all that shit I had to process. Um, when I came back from to the lake from being going down there and staying for a week, um, you know, that was my way of how I had to process all of that mess and all of the past and my childhood and pain and all that kind of stuff, because I could be out there in that middle of the lake, and I could scream, I could cry, I could duck my head in the water and do whatever. And that was what I did to try and to have to process all of that, because I had no one to help me process all of it. All my family's gone. My kids were living both living out of state at the time, and um, all the shit that I went through with my dad and my stepmother, and all the pain that all that caused. It was just something that I had to deal with alone. No one, could really help me with it anyway. So that was how I went through all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's really about all I have as far as catching up on, all the cases and everything that are going on right now. The trial is still going on. I think it's not going to last 2 months because, the state's getting through these witnesses pretty fast. And as far as we know, the defense only intends to call a few witnesses. So, and, whether or not they are going to put Lori on the stand stands to be seen. But I got a feeling they're not going to. You know, who knows? But anyway, I want to thank you, Eve, for hanging with me today and listening to me. It's always good to have you. I really appreciate you, chiming in and giving me your thoughts and all. And if this is your first time visiting here at the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast, if you love all things true crime, please consider hitting the subscribe button, like this video, share it, because that's what I love to talk about, is true crime. And with that in mind, everyone, please, please go out into this world every day. And it doesn't cost a dime to say thank you. It doesn't cost a dime to say hello. How are you? Go out into the world and just be kind. Be a light worker. Put light out into this world and onto this earth that's so full of evil and darkness. Go out into this world and you be the change that you wish to see in this world. As Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. Peace out, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
What's happening, y'all? If you're looking for a fab true crime podcast, then get up off of that thing and boogie on over to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast, where we give you the lowdown on all things true crime. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Catch you on the flip